Hi everyone, it's Ross again. Recently I've been painting a load of Tyranids, like a load, but then again it's a swarm kind of army, you know, it's a horde army, and I've been painting lots and lots and lots and lots of gaunts, as most of you will if you play Tyranids. And this is the kind of colour scheme I've gone with. It's got a bit shiny in this light, but as you know, if you're painting hundreds of these guys, you want a simple, fast method of painting. So I've got some cheapy eBay purchases. Now this isn't my whole army. I'm topping up a unit up to 30, so it's my first 30-man unit, and these are the last 4. So I think I've refined what I want to do, and I'm going to turn these guys into something like this. So tabletop standard kind of has to be when there's hundreds of these guys going to be on the table. So first I like to hit some Airbrush White for these models, so just a generic white to try to cover up some of those dark colours there. Put it in the airbrush bowl and do a little tester. Right, so nice and light, first coat. Usual thing with airbrushing, make sure you get all the hard to reach places first. So probably 2 coats of the white. Little hard to reach places like the crotch. Yeah, that's right, I said crotch. I'm referring to gene stealers. They've got some kind of crotch. Why am I talking about gene stealers' crotches? Right. Okay, so because they don't reproduce, so I'm still going to have something. I'm still going into it. Leave it alone. Right. So run low on that one. So I'll put a bit more in. But this is just a quick, simple how-to video. So I'm going to start off with my white. Like I said, 2 coats of it, and then I'm going to do probably a sepia wash. I think Agrax is too dark. And we'll go from there. Get the base colours down. Carapace, I start with a black. I do find the Abaddon Black GW doesn't cover massively well, but that's okay sometimes. 2 coats of that, it still keeps some of the detail. But I'll come back once that coat is dry, and I'll probably add another one off camera because you don't want to see me do it again and waste your time. Right, back in a bit. Okay, so now the gaunt has had its effective primer, so undercoated, 2 coats of white. I'm going to use this old stuff from Games Workshop. Going to Citadel Sepia Wash. I'll give it a damn good shake. Shake all your paints, always, even washes. I'm using a tile just off camera, just making sure there's no lumps and bumps and things like that in it. And just put this stuff really heavy on the gaunt. Not being neat at all. Get all the little recesses. High spots are easy to do, but the recesses are going to be a bit more difficult. So pretty much put it on the whole of the model. Don't worry about going over on any of the armour or anything for now, because we're going to do that next. So like I said, it's going to be real fast and easy because you're going to have hundreds of these models. So as they all neaten up as we go. I'm sure you can spend a bit more time making them tidier, picking out all the details. If you want to do that, that's totally fine. But for me, I need to get this army ready on the table as a tabletop standard. I want to use a lot of washes, things like that. So speed's a bit of an essence really for me. If I was painting, I don't know, let's say Custodes, like Tom from our channel, I'd spend a bit more time because there's less models in the army. But these guys aren't pretty anyway. Not like the Custodes. So even the gun is of the same material as the base model, because it's a living gun with living ammo. So again, all the little recesses under the chin, on the chest, anywhere you can see. So basically I'm hitting anything that I think is the squishy bit. So I think of Tyranids kind of like space crabs. They got a little chitinous shell, and they have squishy bits, so squishy bits underneath. I think that's all of it for now. So I'll rinse and repeat with the others and come back when they're all done. So it's always nice to batch paint a horde army. I don't want to be waiting around for 20 minutes for this to dry. I'm going to get crack on with another gaunt. There's a surprise, right? So I'm going to carry on with this one, doing the same trick. You guys can nod off, have a snooze, grab some refreshments, go to the pub, whatever. No, I'm going to pause the camera for you guys and get right back to it as if time stood still. Okay, now once the wash is dry, we'll pick out all the carapace pieces. So we'll go with the top of the head, and the back, and the thighs, the feet and the claws, the bits on the gun as well. So this bit is a bit time consuming. There's no washes or anything in this. So I've got my black paint. So what I'm using at the moment is Abaddon Black purely because I've got shed loads of this stuff. I don't think it's the best black out there. Not great for coverage, but once again, as long as you don't go over the lines, you have to be massively neat. Just picking out little bits here and there. And suddenly where my clock's mega loud. Right, so that's the kind of neatness we want to go with. And as it dries, you can see it's probably slightly opaque thanks to the Citadel black. Now if you want to put what is your favourite black or any blacks that you could recommend in the comments, feel free to do so. I'm currently using this, like I said, because I've got loads of it and need using up. But it's not bad if you want to do some blends and stuff. Doesn't happen very often with blacks though, because you can thin it out just a little bit, and it's pretty good for that. And you can turn it into a wash, and it's not so bad as a wash. But it will do. It will do, because it's quite thin. At least it keeps some of the detail. So I could do 2 finished coats, and still be pretty good. So like I said, picking out all the carapace pieces, doing the top of his head, the crown as well. But you get the idea. I'll come back when all the black of this model is done. So that's what these gaunts look like now. So all the black carapace, claws, things like that should be covered. 2 coats preferably, nice and thin. And then what I'll do is start feathering the edges of the armour. So have a little bit of corn red. So starting with a darkish red. I'll move my tile out of the way. I will start picking up the raised areas and edges of the panels. Doesn't matter if it doesn't cover too much. This is the first coat, so the next time I'll get a lighter red and do slightly further down on the edge. At the moment it looks a bit silly, but believe me, later on it does start to look better. Alright, just picking up the raised edges there. It's weird because I normally have music while painting, but I don't want to get sued. Obviously it's something extremely badass, people, like Celine Dion or something like that. Alright, you get the idea. I'll do all of it and I'll come back and do the next red. So that's all the dark red done. Next thing is a little bit of Evil the Sun Scarlet, one of my favourite colours. Bit of Blood Orange player. I do use it on my edge highlights. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my tile, as per always, and making a fine point. So slightly thin down, and what I'm going to do is pick up the highest points on the armour. I'm not really brushing, I'm more of dabbing to give it that feathered look. If you know what I mean. Okay. So that all over. Still quite wet obviously, but I will do the whole thing and I'll come back to you and show you what I meant. So the base does take quite some time to dry, like I said, so what I'll do is add some of the details. So a couple of these guys have tongues hanging out. Not him, not him, not him, but him. Right, so a little bit of pink for the tongue. Now I put a couple of layers of this on and then I calm it down later on with a wash of some kind. So I'll probably go with Carabao Crimson. Gives it a more realistic tone. There's loads of details you can pick up on these guys. I'll go for the teeth next. Because white on a stone background doesn't really stand out that much. And I'm gonna give them cartoony kind of teeth. White-ish teeth. So yeah, white on a stony background doesn't really stand out. So I will drop an Agrax Earthshade wash around the teeth first, making it nice and dark. Then I will pick up the teeth afterwards, so they'll stand out a bit more. So anything with a darker edge will pop a little bit brighter. Bit cartoony, I know, but it works. I'll show you in a minute. Before we do that though, I will bust out some moot green. Looks quite alien-esque. Do some of the couplings for the weapon. So, if you notice on the flesh borer, it has this kind of piping on the back. Now, the weapon kind of is part of him, he's part of the weapon. I wasn't entirely sure if this is a spine or not, but I thought I'll paint it kind of an alien-y colour. Break it up a bit. Now, I do like to have 3 colours on the model that are prominent, so it stands out. If there's too many main, what I call main colours, it won't stand out, in my opinion. It's kind of lost in translation, so I will just pick up a couple of colours on smaller items like this. And maybe part assembling might have been a better idea. But the boy's got skills. There you go. Just a little bit in there as well. Cool. So that kind of thing on all of these guys. So don't want to stand around waiting for the base to dry. So I thought I would do this kind of stuff. Which don't touch the base is all good, right? Alright, I'll carry on with these green pipes. And get back to you. Okay, so all the green trunking's done. And like I said previously, I'm going to pick up certain areas with the Agrax, which I want to be a little bit darker. So, around the mouth. So the teeth stand out a bit more when I eventually pick them up. Now, I could go black, but I think that's quite cartoony, not really my style. Now, the eye there, if it wasn't dark enough, I would put a bit more in. I'll put a bit more in for good measure, because I'm going to put a colour in there in a minute. I normally turn it into what looks like kind of like a cat's eye. So I normally drop an orange in there, and then do like a little cat iris. So the eye's quite dark anyway, with its carapace, so I'll leave them as they are. Next guy, mouth again. So you can see it's kind of getting lost a little bit there, so I'll pick it up so it's a bit darker. Doesn't need a lot. Hopefully their teeth will stand out a bit more when I do that. A little bit in the eye there. So there's a bit of a production line going on here, which is good because you don't want to keep opening pots of paint. I normally, like I said, batch paint 5s or more, but I specifically needed 4 of these guys. So just a little bit in the eye there of the gun, because obviously a gun has an eye. You know, why wouldn't it? Because of NIDS. Alright. Picking at the teeth a little bit. Okay. So when that dries, I'll pick out the teeth and the eyes, and I'll do the little orange dot for the eye on the gun. Next thing you know, the base will be drying, And I can finish the base off. Okay, so the wash around where I want to do the teeth and the eyes is still drying. So what I'll do is paint the edge of the base, because that's still drying as well. Probably need 2 coats. It's not covering very well. Even though you would always think black covers very well, wouldn't you? Dark colour. One go. So like I said, these guys are painted to a tabletop standard. You can take longer to do it. But as you can tell, it's not taking me very long. Yes, it's only 4 gaunts. In the grand scheme of things, it's nothing, is it? I mean, this unit alone is 30 of the blimmers. So imagine 3 units. That's a lot of models. It's quite a lot of time to knock through some models. So then you start cutting corners. Doesn't mean you should start cutting quality though. So, you know, going over lines, things like that, still, in my head anyway, not acceptable for my standard. That's when I paint my miniatures. I mean, if you're happy with it, if no one can see it from a distance, that's fine. Do what you can to get some models on the table. So I'll go over them again anyway. Black isn't covered very well. That's the basic gaunt anyway. Obviously we'll pick out some more detail, make them show up a bit more. But we'll wait for these guys to dry and then do the final stage. Okay, with the start of the eye on the gun, I'm going to base that one with some of this orange from GW. As always, get a nice fine point there with a brush on the tile. And I just want to get the centre of that. As per always, 2 coats. Getting it nice and bright in the centre. The first one's just a little base. The second one's when it actually starts doing stuff. While that's drying, we'll pick out some of the teeth. A bit of this white here. Nice small point. And the eye as well. Just picking up the centre. So you should have the eye there. Okay. Using the side of the brush there to pick up the teeth. And doing the eye on the side again. Just the centre. You can see that? Yeah. Comes to using detail like this, make sure you get a nice fine point with the brush. So rinse and repeat with this lot, do all the teeth and the eyes. And you can leave the eyes black if you wanted to, but like a nice little white dot for the eyes. Right, I'll do the others and get right back to the next lot. Okay, so I'm going to use some of this brown to get a bit of a dry brush going on. And just dry brush a little bit here and there on the mud so it doesn't look so uniform. It looks a bit more natural, doesn't it? Next, I'm going to use a little bit of the Valhalla Blizzard, another technical, to put on the base. Just a couple clumps here and there. I mean, when it comes to basing, you know, you can base your models however you want. The only advice I would say is it's always nice to have an army that has all the bases the same. I mean, special characters may be slightly different, just to show that they're a bit more special, but it's nice to have an army and all the bases look similar. Obviously these aren't going to be exactly the same because the snow is going to be in different places and whatnot. I really quite like this stuff. Now you can make your own snow flock, you can buy snow flock, and there's different types, sorts and varieties like there is with everything else, like clumps and anything else hobby related. But this stuff is just so easy. It might not be the cheapest, especially when it comes to making your own. Drop a bit on the table, there we go, that's nice, isn't it? A little bit on the rock as well. Okay. So my bases are just to show you that the snow's just starting to melt. The dirt's underneath, a few rocks. And last, but no means least, smaller paintbrush. A little bit of black, nice fine line. And we do those cat's eyes I was talking about on the gun. So just literally just the centre of the eye, just drag it very slowly. There we go. That's all it is. Just to make it look kind of like a cat's eye. A tiny little line there. It's the most detail I actually have on these guys. That tiny little line. Doesn't make any difference whatsoever. Maybe giving the illusion that I've actually done some detail on these. But that's it. For NID models. And maybe a couple of hours. Fairly easy techniques to use. Anybody can do it. And you want to do them fast, like I said previously, because no way in hell would you want to spend 4 hours, for example, on each model when you've got 30 in a unit. So remember, you can push the edge highlights a bit more if you want to, but that's my gaunts. Thank you very much for watching, guys.